One Piece, Chapter 958, The Promised Port. So Act 3 of Wano has begun, and with a big surprise, no less. But I think it might be a red herring, so let's get into it. So it's opening out with a flashback of Roger's crew during their final journey, and I really like this sequence. I wish we got like a prequel arc of what these guys were doing during that time, because their crew just seems like so much fun. Like just this one little scuffle between Roger and Crocus. We're getting more insight into their personalities, and of course there are parallels to be drawn between him and Luffy and their crew in general, and that's always kind of been there. We're also seeing that Buggy and Shanks are there, and I think this might be confirming that they were around the whole entire time for the final journey, which might mean that Buggy and Shanks know where Raftel is and know what the One Piece is. And I could totally see this come back later, like Buggy saying, like, I've known the whole time, I just didn't care, because he's always been kind of nonchalant about his history and stuff like that. Like when it was revealed that he was with, he knew Shanks and was one of, his fellow crew members at that time, he just kind of brushed it off. Like while Buggy is very braggadocious, it seems like the real significant stuff in his life, he kind of just brushes to the side. So that would be interesting. But of course, it's not confirmed yet, and we don't know. I just think that it's very likely that that will happen in the future. And then we're seeing Odin still in his silhouette because we haven't unlocked him yet. But it's just further showing that, like, this has all been the culmination of, like, a 20-year plan. And then it's been 25 years since we've seen this flashback. And so now we're getting into Act 3 at this point. So Orochi is leaving to go to Onigashima for the Fire Festival, where he's going to meet up with Kaido, and they're just going to get blasted. But it's also specifically noted by Fugu Rokuju that Kyoshiro will be looking after the capital in their absence. Let everyone know. And I think he's not just saying let everyone know, but let the readers know as well that this is going to happen, because I think this is significant. Like, this is probably going to play a part in what ultimately is happening here, which, like I said in the beginning, I think this is a red herring. Because, of course, after this, it's revealed that at Port Tokage, no one's there. Nothing is going according to plan. Like, the scabbards are there, and they're just looking at, like, a whole bunch of rapids and waves and stuff. And Ashura says that they may have been attacked, or it's possible that the weather wrecked the ships or something like that. And while it is possible, I just don't think that's likely the case here. Because after Kinemon's like, where are you, Luffy? Please respond. Where is everyone? It cuts to the Flower Capital, and we see these dudes, like, carrying, like, this box or something. Like, something similar to what Orochi was being carted on, it kind of looks like. And we see the little girl, she's like, they're carrying something. And on top of that thing that they're carrying, it looks like Usopp, right? It kind of looks like him, right? If you see the one dude, he has, like, the long hair playing the guitar. That might be Usopp. And then we see, like, another masked person with a fan. That might be another one. So I think this is probably where the Straw Hats are, because it's lining up with him saying, where are you? And then we see that specific panel. So what does this all mean? Well, I'm assuming that there's like a double cross here, because obviously there is a traitor that has already been established, but it's also possible that they figured out at the last moment that there is a traitor and that they had to change things up. Because if we go back to the end of chapter 955, when Orochi figured out everything that was going on, we see Law in the following panel. So maybe Law was somehow privy to Orochi finding out about all of this stuff, and that he changed the plan at the last minute, but didn't tell the Scabbards, because it's possible that one of the traitors is like a part of the Scabbards. Maybe it's Shinobu, possibly. I know there's a whole bunch of theories out there that maybe it's Kanjuro, maybe it's one of the Minks, but it seems that it's probably one of the Scabbards at this point, considering that they are the only ones left in the dark. It's not 100% confirmed, of course, that it is one of them, but it just seems likely at this point. Why else would they not be in on this whole thing? So maybe it's also something that X-Drake has to do with this, because we saw that it was implied that X-Drake was talking to Law, a couple chapters back. And then it was also revealed that X-Drake was a part of SWORD. So he's for sure a double agent as well on the side of the Marines. So he's likely going to help the Straw Hat Alliance here to take down Kaido and Orochi and all of them. So maybe what they're doing is, instead of going to Onigashima, where everyone's there, they're instead just going to do like a Trojan horse type thing, because it's like I said, it's implied that the Straw Hats are inside of that thing that those guys are carrying when we see back at the Flower Capital. So maybe instead of going to where the stronghold is, they're going to establish their own stronghold. And this also goes back to what I was saying about Kyoshiro being there specifically. Now, either he is going to be their opponent that they have to take on, or he is working with them. Because, like we've all theorized at this point, and it was kind of confirmed by the intro, in the anime, that Kyoshiro is Denjiro, the remaining ninth scabbard that we haven't seen yet. Also, he had that weird little sequence with Hiyori. So maybe that's what all of this is leading to. Maybe the Straw Hats and the Alliance and everyone else takes over the Flower Capital. And they're like, all right, you guys got to come to us. Or maybe the Fire Festival goes down without a hitch. And like everything goes smoothly. And they all get drunk, they all get blasted. But then once they're all done and like Orochi comes back to the Flower Capital, that's when he realizes that it's completely been usurped. It's like there's a complete siege going on there, and then that's when the war starts. And then Orochi calls for like Kaido or something, and then that's when Kaido comes over, and instead of them going to Onigashima comes to them, and that would maybe be, make this war a little more realistic for them to win, considering that the momentum would be in their favor possibly. Something like that could happen. Also, it's pointed out that there's like clear skies and that they're going to be able to see the full moon clearly. That's also another thing that we should pay attention to because, the full moon plays part with the minks here and they go into their transformation, the Sulong forms, like what we saw of Peckham's and Carrot. So we're likely going to see all of the minks here go into their Sulong's form, like Nekomamushi, Inuarashi. These guys are already powerful just in their base forms. Like, they were able to go against Jack, no problem. So once they go into their Sulong forms, they're, like, outrageous. Like, I don't want to power scale them because we don't know yet, but they seem to be already on Yonko Commander level, so they're probably going even higher than that, or top Yonko Commander level, whatever that is. Also, we might see Beppo, his Sulong form possibly, because, he is still there. So I feel that that's where this is all headed. This is like a red herring on top of a red herring. Also, if we're like looking at the very last panel, Orochi is like has that weird like euphoric face on, like ha ha ha, I won. Like when it's like last night an incident occurred. So I assume that maybe he didn't exactly see what went down. Maybe he was just told that it was going to be taken care of. And then they also told him, like, yeah, we took care of it. So maybe it was, like, X-Drake. Maybe it was Denjiro, or who is Kyoshiro, possibly. I don't think Orochi, like, knows for sure. I think, this whole time he's kind of just been fed these lies. And I think he's being fed more lies here. Because, like I said before, if we go back to the end of Chapter 955, we see Law, like, right after Orochi figures things out. So I think that's playing a big part into it, and I think Law probably saved everyone, likely with the assistance of X-Drake and possibly Hawkins as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it, and unfortunately there is going to be a break next week, but it's fine. I mean, we got so much these past couple weeks, so it's fine if this goes on a break, especially on this huge cliffhanger that we're left off on. But let me know what you thought about all of this. What do you think is going on with the Straw Hats, the Alliance? Where are they? Do you think my Trojan horse taking over the capital theory is, more or less going to happen? Or what do you think? Also, if you liked it, guys, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.